cyber polygon, internet control, internet regulation push. And specifically in this article I did for TLAB in July, the way they talk about it is cascading cyber attacks and increasing frequency and severity. And to me, that basically says people, they're going to only really stop with the cyber attack thing until the people acquiesce. Right. So if they think it's going to be one that lasts, I don't know, 2 weeks or something, and takes down services and websites X, Y, and Z, you know, if people acquiesce to that, then they'll stop. But if they don't, then they'll have one that takes place soon after and is more severe. Right, based on how they set this up. So
which is typical to their past actions, right? I mean, this is why I'd use that analogy of sanctions, because it kind of seems like a similar tactic where they just drive you to desperation, and so we just kind of cave whether we want to or not. Yeah,
it's a war on civilians. Just obviously they frame it differently, and in this case they want to blame faceless cyber criminals. Per their documents, it's faceless cyber criminals working with a naughty nation state, which will probably be Iran, North Korea, or, you know, any of these conventional adversary countries. But, you know, that's usually how the playbook tends to work more often than not. But, you know, depending on what they're trying to accomplish or who they need to convince, you know, these things can be tweaked and adjusted as needed from their perspective. So what are the goals of the WEF partnership against cybercrime? As I see it, there's really two. There's one that one is to create a global fin-cyber, meaning financial cyber utility, and that is aimed expressly at gutting and eliminating completely both online and financial anonymity for the public, not for them. And in their documents, they make it very explicit that it's not for them. Well, we need the anonymity to protect you. That's essentially how they set it up. The second goal of the partnership against cybercrime is to merge big business, intelligence agencies, and law enforcement. There's your public-private partnership of doom right there, basically, because you're having the enforcement arms and the sketchiest arms of the public sector teaming up with big business and, you know, multinational predatory corporations, for lack of a better term, to fuck you over. But really, essentially, it's to, you know, keep the status quo in whatever system they want to implement, you know, protected and insulated from any sort of threat, including insider threats, people with consciences, that could threaten that. Okay, so what does this need to become reality? What they need to do is to manufacture consent for centralized control of the internet and also centralized control of digital money, eliminating the ability to have any sort of anonymous financial transaction online. This is going to be when they launch their big attack on crypto in order to get everyone into the CBDC, central bank digital currency space. We will see more. They're playing nice with crypto right now publicly, but, you know, only China really has their digital yuan out. But we know that there's the Brit coin, the Fed coin, all of this in the works. Once those are out, the kid gloves for crypto will come off from the federal government, and you will be pushed into safe digital money, to centralized control of digital money. So how do they manufacture consent for this? Should be pretty obvious. It's a ransomware cyber attack on critical infrastructure and or services. And as I mentioned at the beginning, you know, they plan to do this in increasing frequency and severity until the people say, enough, stop all the cyber criminals. I'll agree to this centralized control. You can link my ID and my bank account to everything I do online and have the right to use it against me in court. If you don't like what I say or do or what I buy, you know, that's fine, just as long as you make Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram come back. You know, I mean, that's essentially what it is. But I think they're going to attack services that are much more critical than just social media. And actually the other day, the FBI, which again is part of this, as I mentioned earlier, a member of this partnership against cybercrime, warning ransomware gangs are going to attack critical electronic infrastructure in the food system and the food supply chain, which is already under a massive squeeze because of what I would argue is a manufactured supply chain and energy crisis that's going on right now.